It's your boy PU2 coming at you on a Monday night for some Dungeons and Dragons, and we've been away for a minute, and there's no excuses. I mean, we got a lot going on, so we're just coming back with vengeance. We're really wanting to get the group back together, give you some quality click-on entertainment in a good way. This isn't OnlyFans. This is quality entertainment where you can click on. And, so grab your dice and bust your tariffs because we're going to get some D&D going. I've got the crew here. I've got PU2. I've got PS Zombie here with me, as well as Climate Changer and Alex. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a one-shotty tonight again. If you all remember, we did a One Piece inspired campaign called Piece of Eight. We are going to be doing that setting, but we are going to be taking a side tangent off the story. So we've done this a couple times where we explored everybody's background story through a one-shot. So we're going to do that again, but it's going to be a round of one because we have now gone through the whole party. So we're kind of out of options. So that will be Ichibi or Climate Changer's characters, a lore dump tonight of where we're going to go. So we're pretty excited about that. Before we get into that, I just wanted to kind of remind the fans that I'm here on PU2 here on Twitch. I've got a YouTube channel. We've got all of the socials, so you can find me on X. You can find me on Insta. You can find me on Facebook.
Find me on the X.
Find me on the X. It's going down. I don't know how to go from there on plugging my socials. We can do Patreon. Check me out there. We've got a Discord channel that's pretty active with memes. You can see it down there on your screen in the bottom left. That link for that is here on our Twitch page. We also got a merch store. Check that out. I think that's it for me. We're going to be playing Piece of Eight. It's a One Piece inspired anime. And I can say, get the ready, because I can say that I'm officially caught up with One Piece. I have made it to the end of where Oda has written. And it's like 1133 or something in there. It's somewhere in there. I can't remember, but yep, I'm all the way to the end of the track. Thank you, Climate Changer. Feels good.
Respectable.
Feels good. So I'm all the way at the end of the track, waiting on new track to be laid. And guess what? It drops this weekend. I think Oda has they have some scheduled releases of One Piece anime coming up. So might have actually already dropped. I think it was like the 4th. So I haven't gotten that, but I was all caught up and feels good. It's a lot of watching. So anyway, I love that anime. And so we made this kind of homebrew campaign. Wow, I was right, Alex.
You're playing D&D. You're playing D&D.
Wow.
This whole apartment.
That one's
playing
my
D&D.
favorite.
Thanks for the subscribe, Climate. Appreciate you. We are going to be going into this homebrew campaign, Piece of Eight, with a little bit of a side story. This campaign follows the party. They are a pirate crew for the Kite Pirates, and they're aspiring to be the #1 pirate crew. Their captain is a non-playable character called Captain Kaito, Tamarian D. Kite, or Kite. He is the captain of the Kite Pirates. So he's leading the crew, and they're going on adventure. And this is about their third-ish island. They had a little bit of a meet-up island, and then they've gone to a forest and got an artifact, and now they're here at this village. So that is where we will start tonight, and then sidestep into our story. So before we do that, let's start with Climate Changer. We're going into the background of Climate Changer. But before we do, thank you so much, Alex, for the subs, gifting those subs out. Appreciate you. You too can subscribe or gift those subs here on our channel. As a reminder to all folks, Amazon Prime does a free subscribe towards your favorite streamer. Let it go this way. Feed my family. So thank you guys. Appreciate you, Alex. Appreciate you, Climate. Okay, Climate.
No pressure.
Go ahead, Alex. So you go first since you spoke up. How are things? It's been a minute.
Good. It's been a long minute. Yeah. No, things are good. I am on my own this week, which is fun. So I'm officially unsupervised.
Nice.
Which is why I'm looking forward to D&D night.
Nice.
That's the best times.
Yeah. No, you're telling me.
Well, good. We're happy to have you on. What do you usually play? I know you're going to be playing a different character tonight, but what do you usually play for this campaign?
So I usually play Gornick. He's a barbarian bugbear. He is kind of a snarky dude and doesn't not really great at making friends, but he is great at making fun of people. But yeah, no. So that's Gornick, and I will not be playing him tonight. I'm happy to talk about my other character if you'd like.
We will introduce him in here in a minute, so appreciate you
so
pulling
good.
that. So we'll keep that suspense going a little longer. Gonna kick it over to Climate. Climate, tell us about the character you're playing in this campaign and will be playing tonight.
Okay, I am Climate Changer playing Ichibi Harata. He's, I guess as far as class, he's a ranger. Don't want to say too much about him. You know.
Gasp.
But I'm doing good, ready to escape into a fantasy world and forget about the real world for a little while.
There you go. That's why we do this, y'all.
Yep.
Love it. Alrighty. Thank you, Climate. And we will kick it to PS Zombie. PS Zombie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going well.
Good.
That's how I always talk.
Yeah. Like you're in the Metal Gear
Totally
Solid
normal.
series.
Yeah, so I'm PS Zombie, and I typically play Garza, who is a monk of the Dragon Turtle School. And what else were you supposed to say? That's about it?
That's about it. You doing
I
okay
have
tonight?
my own campaign that we sometimes play.
Yes, called The Unbeaten Path. Very good creation of PS Zombies. We will be getting back on that soon.
That's right. As soon as my life is slightly less miserable, we'll see.
Wow. We really need
I believe in you.
Twitch. We really need D&D.
Well, to be fair, I did take an extended hiatus before, and we did actually get back to it. So I have a history of returning.
That's
to
true.
That's
We all cope in our own ways. D&D's one
When
of
I was
those
in school.
ways. Coffee's one of those ways. For me, it's
That's
Mountain
right.
Dew Hard,
Late night coffee.
a lovely beverage.
Just kidding. It was decaf.
So, just to give you a little overview, like I said, this is a campaign where the pirate crew is trying to be number one. And the adventure, just to give you context, when we ever get back to the actual adventure at large, the crew had made it to the island of Mizpah, which Mizpah is a refugee city. So in this world, world of seas and pirates, those that are not privileged or have a lot of finances, the poor, don't have a lot of resources. And so the world government kind of has these islands set up throughout the seas where refugees can go to if there's some sort of accidental crime that really doesn't need a lot of pursuing. So if somebody's accidentally murdered on a job site, or they're something that happens where it's kind of not first degree murder, it's more by an accident, to kind of avoid living out a sentence somewhere in a prison or having to go to a larger city where you will get the heaviest of punishment. These are sort of ways to escape that while kind of sort of living out your sentence. So this island system is known as cities of refugees, cities of refuge. And so the crew has landed on one called Mizpah, which is located in the Sun Island. So this world is a sea world. And so we have 4 different quadrants of the world and the seas that kind of tell you where you are in the world. So we've got the moon, sun, star, and cloud islands. So those are 4 sections of the sea that have unique weather patterns and unique elements about them. And the crew is currently navigating the waters through the Sun Islands and made it here to Mizpah. They had a nice time at the tavern, got to know the locals, went to sleep at a hostel, and woke up to a murder scene. And they've rushed on the scene of the town blacksmith being murdered. So this has caused shock through the party. They've each dealt with this shock by going back into their memories. So we went into Garza's memory and saw his traumatic El Dorado transformation on his turtle island, the Turtle School Island. We then went back into Gornek's past on the town of Locksburg. Was that yours? Yeah, Locksburg, where it was. No. That was. Dang it! I can't even remember my islands anymore. It's up here. Yeah, Locksburg. Yeah. It was the Scottish
How dare
island.
you forget the proud community of
That's
Lost.
right.
The Scottish. Yeah.
I died on that island.
Yep. So we got his history of being in the crime syndicate of at Locksburg. Then we went to Aurelia, which is kind of a treasure island, paradise island, and went to explore the past of Orthos. So now we zoom in on Ichibi, who's processing this murder scene in his own way. Ichibi, you stare at the body, and you immediately are triggered back to a deep memory in your childhood of seeing your father. And we're going to flash back. Flashback. Flashback music starts. Where a young Ichibi, 5 years old or so, is on a remote island in the Cloud Islands system. He is in a workshop garage with his dad, who's kind of has a hangar, and he is watching his dad furiously work on this machine. You have some of those early childhood memories for you from age 5 to about 10. You just remember your dad constantly working on this device. It was an airship. He was obsessed with going to the skies, and you saw this obsession more from sketches to the structural and roll cage system of an airship to the mechanical and small parts, to the engine, to the mechanical and small part finishings of this full long journey of your young childhood. Your father was furiously working on this. This is all you really remember of him. He was really devoted to his work in those early years of your life. You remembered the highs of when engines would start and sails and devices would retract on their own, and you would remember the lows when things would not work or break when being assembled. You remember all that. And as you go back into those memories, you remember a specific day right after you turned 10 years old when you woke up and, unlike any morning, did not hear noise. It was early in the morning and it was quiet. That in your house was very unusual. Since you lost your mom, your dad was it for folks that were around the house, and it had always been very loud in the mornings as work had begun early. You didn't hear the beating and banging. You didn't hear your dad moving around. You didn't hear a coffee device or whatever the D&D equivalent of coffee is going in the mornings. And that was strange to you. So you immediately got out of bed as a youngster, 10-year-old youngster. You wandered over to see what was the matter. And you noticed it was just your dad in the middle of his workstation with a big, big smile on his face. And he said, "It's finished. We're able to go. The work is complete and we're ready to set sail." And he was beaming with excitement and joy that he completed his machine. So, 10-year-old Ichibi, what do you do in this moment?
I think Ichibi would take on the same excitement of his father, and start celebrating like a 5-year-old would, I guess.
Okay.
Or a 10-year-old, and running around the lab, messing around.
Cool. So in pure elation, you two run around the lab and are excited for the creation of this device. Now, during those joyful moments, we're gonna pan over to what climate change, what Pia Zombie and what Alex are working on. So, ideally, there's some sort of familiar or friend connection between the characters you've crafted and Ichibi. If not, we can work it in. So, I kind of want you to introduce your characters at their home. If we can make them in this same town. If not, we can kind of work y'all into the story somewhere. So let me cut over to PS Zombie. PS Zombie, kind of tell us what you created or set the scene of your character and where they are. And we'll facilitate a connection later, but let's just kind of go to where you're working.
Okay, yeah. So my character, he's a human, very obsessed with stickball. So he is a athlete, but with a slight chip on his shoulder, something to prove. And if it works in your thing, he was adopted by giants, so he is fairly tall for his age. I was thinking he's a little bit older than Ichibi is right now, maybe in his early teens. But he's probably like 5'10", 5'11", but feels like an absolute pipsqueak in his parents' home. So I don't know if you want to... Is one of these homes going to be mine?
Yeah, we'll say that. Would you say...
Maybe this one over here is kind of taller.
The tallest one?
Yeah, this one's kind of taller over here, so it makes sense. Or maybe down here.
This is for Mizpah, but we can pretend this is the home origin, because we're really going to move away from the home origin. So,
okay.
Would you say your character's like a jock? Because is Ichibi's kind of nerdy, right? Or am I just reading into that? What would you say? Yeah. Okay, so do you think there would be some kind of like bullying relationship here, like because that could be a unique angle? Just curious.
Yeah,
okay.
That could be because he's definitely got an inferiority complex. So I feel like bullying someone smaller than him would be kind of
cool
in character.
Cool. So you kind of get up from wherever you are at your house, hearing the commotion. Yeah. I'll say you're kind of next door-ish neighbors to Ichibi, and you run over to see what's the clatter. What's the matter?
All right. Yeah. So I sprint over after grabbing my stickball stick and go, "Whoa, what's going on? Is your dad breaking things again?"
No, we finally done it. What's your name again?
Oh, so he's got a giant name from like a giant tribe, which I'm kind of basing on Native Americans. His name's Toanche, but it means tiny in giant, so it's just called Tiny.
Okay, yeah. So we finally done it, Tiny. All this has been worth it.
Hates that nickname. But nobody else can.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Of course, Talanche. I've never said that before. I don't know what I'm doing.
So while Ichibi's getting the business by Tiny, we pan over to where Alex is working on his character. So Alex, tell us a little bit about what you've crafted and what your character's up to, and introduce him to us.
Yeah, so I'm playing a guy named Joey. However, his friends all call him Chisel, so that's what we're calling him tonight. Cool. So the Chisel, he's kind of a quiet dude, keeps to himself, lives at home with his parents, and his dad is really kind of a quirky tinkerer kind of guy, and so Chisel sort of picked that up from him, and so he loves to tinker, he loves to repair stuff, he loves to break stuff. He's not always the one to be like the most talkative, but he's always a guy with a plan.
Cool. So I would think then from that description, Chisel and Ichibi are close. Maybe like, because nerdy, quiet type, hanging
out.
All about the lab space
from the bully, right?
No, I'm not helping with that.
Shut up, nerd.
You're on your own with the bully. I'll build you something.
Okay.
Chad, I see you got the follow. Thank you for following us, finding on us. We are doing some Dungeons and Dragons, so I appreciate you checking in for the views and following along. So appreciate that. Thanks for the follow.
I gotta refresh Roll20 for myself.
Chad said, "Oh, Chad, Craig." Hello. You're gonna have to clarify. I know several Chads, so please clarify. Not to make fun
You
of
know,
you.
it's Chad. Everybody knows.
So,
Wow.
wow is right.
Wow.
Oh, what's up, Chad? Okay, now I know who we're talking to.
I believe I've deciphered it as well.
Yes. He's got the really nice Star Wars collection. It's a little lore drop for the people that know.
Nice.
Oh, really? That's cool. Well, you guys should really stick along because I'm not gonna spoil much, but let's just say Skeleton Crew was on the mind for creation of this, so you guys may want to hang out. So I appreciate you coming on, Chad. Thanks for finding me. All right. Okay, so
Oh, can you put your character on there, or is it still not letting you do it?
let's not go down this rabbit hole.
It's not. I'm not emotionally ready to talk about it, but if somebody could get Chisel on the board for me, I would really appreciate it.
The chisel.
Just chisel him on the board, bro.
Feel free to make any puns you want. Just get it out.
I just want him on the board, please.
I just want to play the game.
My character.
Put me in,
great.
coach.
Put me in. Cool. All right, so Chisel, you're also, I'm going to say, in the neighborhood somewhere, and you hear the commotion and the clatter, and you rise up, and you head over there, and you roll up on Tiny, giving the bully business to Ichibi, and you see the machine starting to boot up, the big airship that is in that garage that you've seen time and time again as you've spent time with Ichibi. But you notice something's different. It's like working and active. And Ichibi's dad is losing his mind. He's running around like crazy. So, what do you do in this moment, Alex? What is your character?
I would walk in and kind of see what was happening with Ichibi and Tiny, and basically immediately get sidetracked by the airship because that's why I've been coming here. I'm super excited to see this thing working. So I'm going to go over with Ichibi's dad and basically start freaking out as well, like grabbing and jumping up and down with his dad.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, so with that, you guys three are kind of like all jumping around, and Tiny's just kind of being like, "Ugh, bully stuff." The ship starts to really boot up. Engines start to really warm up, and sounds like they're getting ready to lift off. And your dad, like frantically, hair a mess and wild-eyed, grabs you, Ichibi, and says, "It's time. Let's get our stuff. I've already got our bags in there." And he starts to like usher you towards the airship. I want you guys to think, Alex and Pia Zombie, what you would think is either the way that we get on. So like, I'm imagining it. Y'all tell me if this is not right, but I'm imagining it, Alex, you are like totally in and want to be invited. Whereas I feel like Tiny, you're like maybe even sneaking on board to see if it's actually going to work, or maybe, y'all kind of narrate how you get on the ship. But I'm assuming Ichibi, you're just going to go with what your dad says, right? So I want the other guys to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely gonna chase after him. If it's taking off, then it's in like a time limit. Like it's probably like you have to get on within a very short amount of time, or it's like you're gonna get left.
Yep. So you're kind of going that route. So, Alex, how does the Chisel go about this?
I'm basically running with Ichibi. There's no way I'm gonna not get on this thing because I'm so excited that it's working.
Cool.
So I'm just basically gonna leave Ichibi in the dust. I'm just gonna full bore run on, focused on us getting on that thing.
Nice.
I think my dad would be distractible enough, like so distracted by the machine that he wouldn't even pay attention to the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good call. That's good lore.
Yeah.
Okay. Tiny.
I'm gonna just call it Mr. T.
There you go.
Yes. He pities the fool.
Yeah, so I'll probably just like hop on, like not even worrying about being seen, just because I'm like, who's gonna stop me from doing this? Be like, no way, you nerds are doing something cool without me.
Nice. Okay. So he gets on as well. Okay. So you all assemble in the airship. The airship rockets off. Like, I'm talking like huge launch off the ground. And you are now going up into the sky. This is fantastic, scary, and anywhere in between for all three of you all. And your dad is losing his mind, Ichibi. He's like running around looking at everything, and this is just like pure euphoria moment for him. You guys watch the island, your home that you've grown up in, you go to school in, you have lives at. You watch it kind of at the ground kind of fade in the distance as you continue to go up. You don't really go out like a plane would, right? Like a trajectory in a vector direction, north, south, or east. You just kind of go up, like it's almost a thrust completely upward. You guys watch your island fade into the background into a speck, and you just see the seas around you as you go up and up and up. And then you start getting in cloud cover. So you start drifting up into the clouds, and before you know it, you're not able to see a lot of the land below or the sea below you because you're in clouds. You're just covered in clouds. And this is fantastic for you all. You've never been in a cloud. As kids, you're fascinated by this, and and Ichibi, your dad's just freaking out because this is not something that people do, is go up in the clouds. It's not long though before you start getting really high up there, and then you start to notice that it's cold in these clouds. As you get up, it's gotten a little gusty, and then it's gotten really cold, and now you're starting to notice that you're moving more directionally. Like instead of just going up, you're starting to kind of plateau on your elevation, and you're starting to just kind of move forward. But the winds are guiding you, and it's starting to get a little gusty. Now your dad then turns to you, Ichibi, and kind of gives you some orders. And the childhood you've spent with him, you've learned some things. He's kind of made you learn how to run, like, you know, a tow line, or how to rig up a sail on the airship. So he's kind of barking some orders at you a little bit now, and so you kind of by memory go and start working and doing your stuff while he's buzzing around, hitting all sorts of mechanical drawers and dials, and making sure things are tight and going good. But you guys notice that as you start going with this big gust of wind, it starts to get even more windy. And then you see these tall clouds that almost look like trees. They're so skinny in the middle. Approach you, and you see two or three in front of you in your immediate heading. And these trees are twisty. They're spinning as you kind of go towards them, and you notice that they're not just in front of you. You're almost going in this forest of swirly clouds that start to get closer and closer, surrounding your ship. It gets colder and colder, and then these giant, whatever the D&D equivalent of golf ball is, roundish ice blocks whirling around. They kind of collide with you a little bit. One tiny one hits you on the forehead. Ichibi, a couple pelt the area that you're working at. Chiseled, it's you see several kind of go immediately above your head and, like, you know, almost clip you. And you guys notice that these little bits of what they are is hail, but bits of ice rock flinging in different directions. You notice that the clouds are getting way darker. It's like thunderstorms now. You're seeing some lightning, and you're seeing some dark clouds. And then you notice that those trees that are really just spinning clouds are now immediately surrounding you. And the gust and the gale is intensifying to a max. And you start to spin. The whole airship starts to spin as these vortex-like winds are converging on your location. Your dad is freaking the freak out. He is upset. You can start to hear some pings and pops not just the piece of ice hitting your ship, but like things starting to break a little bit or give or creak. And then as these gale winds and cyclones converge on your location, stuff starts to snap, break, and alarms start to go off. You're getting to be in a bad way. As you start to spin when the airship, your dad is yelling at you, Ichibi, to just do your training, to just do the things you've talked about. And you guys have done some emergency prep, but nothing like this. So you start freaking out a little bit because this is getting beyond what you were prepared to do. Your dad is panicking, starts to turn very pale, and this is kind of a dire situation. And I'm sure Chisel and Tiny, you guys are kind of dealing with this in your own particular ways. So as the cyclone converges, the airship starts to spin violently. You kind of lose your orientation a little bit. Ichibi, you fall down. You kind of got the rigging up, and you're trying to control the ship, and you fall down and hit your head. You black out. You lose consciousness. Something similar happens to you, Tiny. A couple of large ice stones clog you in the head and knock you out. And then Chisel, you kind of are moving in the ship, and you trip and you fall and you hit your head, and you also lose consciousness. So you guys all black out, and all you hear is the yelling of your dad, Ichibi, in the background, and more breaking noises and alarms, and just the howling of very train sounding, like, well, you don't know what a train is, but large sounding winds whirling in the background, and panic sets in. You awake in the sky. Cue music. Gotta get my YouTube up. Cue music.
Nice.
This is waking up from a head injury music.
It's beautiful.
It's paradise.
I feel like if this music were playing, you're going to fall in love with whoever you see next. It's very, very whimsical.
Yes. That was the goal. I'm glad.
Mr. Harada?
Goal achieved.
So welcome to the Floatlands. Islands of mystery and high up in the sky. That is where you find yourself as you awake from your... as you slowly gain consciousness on the shores of this island. I will say you guys are on the cliff face. I'm going to ping a location just over here on this corner of the map where you awake on the ledge. So you're on that shoreline, but you're just nestled on top of the rock as bits of your ship fall down below the island. And you are... airship, as you look around your ride that you've taken up here to this strange land in the sky, is just catastrophically crashed. Bits are everywhere here on the shoreline, as the largest part of the hole where you're on is kind of teetering on that coastline. Ichibi, you're slowly gaining consciousness, not quite sure. I'm going to say Chisel and Tiny, you kind of have now, you probably awake first and kind of get your bearings, and you're freaking out at what you're seeing. This doesn't make sense. It's an island literally hovering in the sky. Does not make sense to you. So you're freaking the freak out. But Ichibi, you're awoken from your consciousness kind of sharply by your dad waking you up. And you look. You look, and it's not good. As you look up, you see he's in deep pain. He's been impaled.
Father.
He's got a large bit of the mast sticking through him. So you can kind of tell this is not good, right? He's not going to make it. So you kind of put that together as you're kind of grieving and shocked.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
Yeah. He's good.
No.
Walk it off.
Yeah.
I don't think it's supposed to be like that.
So he says, son, coughs a little bit. This is bad, but son, we made it. We made it. So even on the cusp of death, he's excited. He's like, everybody thought I was a fool for believing in such a lofty dream. They said there's no way these float islands are real, but we're here.
But I always believed, Father.
I know you did, son. I know you did. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a very tattered journal that's just crammed. It's small, but it's like crammed full of notes. So he kind of passes that to you and says, my dream was to get us here. This is what I believed in. Your mother believed in. This was the dream. And we did it, son. We did it. So now it's your turn. And he hands it over and pushes it into your hand and says, finish what we started. The last few pages are in there for you to write about this strange, strange place. And then he kind of gives one last...
I'll make you proud, Father.
I know you will. And he tells you he loves you as he kind of retrieves his last breaths and passes that to you.
Oh, man.
So, as that happens, you're kind of in shock. So you guys kind of take a kind of a snapshot of what you think your character would be doing in this moment, because you start to hear some heavy rustling and yelling. And you look into the forest that's just beyond the cliff. You're kind of teetering on this cliff, but just in front of you towards the land side is this forest that you're seeing on the map. So you see coming through the tree line and rustling through the tree line some very heavily armored high elf soldiers breaking through the tree line. And yelling and kind of like, who goes there? Who goes there? And they're, kind of rumbling. So what do the three of you do in this moment?
I think Ichibi would be like the classic distraught person, and like he would just like be yelling for help, and asking for somebody to help his dad.
Okay.
I think Chisel would be with Ichibi, just his friend, and he knew his dad, and so he's going to be, there's a support, but still sad, so he's going to be standing with Ichibi.
Cool.
I think being less attached, Tiny's going to be a little bit more panicked about the shouting he's hearing, and say, Ichibi, he's already gone. There's nothing we can do. I don't want to get caught here.
Oh. Well,
Here.
go then. I don't care.
I'll take a feather from my earring and hand it to Ichibi. Here, put this on his forehead.
Okay, Ichibi does it.
And I'll say, All Father, this man went higher than any giant. Carry him to Jotunheim.
Nice.
All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Hoping that's satisfying enough to get him out of here.
Okay, yeah. He would have liked that. And just goes with you. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are trying to beat this group of soldiers coming after you, right? So they are zoning in on your location.
You're playing D&D. You're playing D&D. This whole apartment.
Did we lose you?
It's playing D&D.
Yeah,
Playing D&D.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, we just got to subscribe. I was just giving them subscribe music to play. Thank you, Chad, for the subscription. Appreciate you.
Rip.
Thank you for your support of this channel. Appreciate you, bud. Okay. So you're going to have to do some sort of check to get by this soldier group, because they are clearly zoning into your location. It is a foreign airship that has crashed. They can fully see its location. You guys are teetering on a cliff. Like, you're going to have to like sneak past them or try to blow past them in some way. So I guess my question is, are you trying to sneak past them? Are you going to just try to come to blows? Are you going to try to outrun them? What's your game plan here?
Do we want to see what just playing devil's advocate. But if we want to, maybe figure out where we are, would it be worth kind of waiting for the soldiers? Or are we like scared of? Do we think that they're like just going to attack us?
Were they making kind of hostile noises? I guess. Yeah, maybe that's first step. Is like, can we infer anything about the sounds of them approaching and their intent?
You can do some checks. You can do a persuasion, or not a persuasion. You can do an investigation, perception. All they were saying was,
Ichibi has been influenced by the bully, and so he's kind of in shock, just following like along. But he might do an investigation at the same time. So
okay,
there you
go. Let's see.
Medicine.
Okay, not a medicine, guys.
Your dad's dead. You can't heal him now.
Yeah.
I'm not perceiving very well myself.
No, I would say with the 13, even Alex is similar. They're soldiers coming after you.
That medicine check is me checking to see if he was dead.
He is dead. He is dead.
Yeah. Does his body fly off the side of the cliff as the whole airship falls off?
Mm-hmm. Unless you guys grabbed him as you escaped.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good loophole to cut off there. Okay.
Not to be rude, but that'd be dead weight.
Pun number 6 tonight, folks.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah. How many minutes after someone's father's death can you joke about it?
27.
It was a little early.
We pushed the barriers here on that.
Yeah, this is a really cool island. I guess we're trying to sneak, right? Isn't that what we're doing? So
maybe we should.
It's up to y'all.
Yeah, they seem mean.
And see if they seem nice, we'll come out, and if not, we'll keep hiding.
I'm down to hide. That's my signature move.
All right, I think we're gonna try to hide.
Chibi can't hide.
Unfortunately, I am in heavy armor, so I believe I have disadvantage on still. I do.
Okay, so this is interesting. With a 17, the chisel is hidden. And I will say with a 17, you can pull one of the two folks with you into your hiding.
I think I would choose a chibi on that one.
Okay.
Mr. T is on his own.
it's good to have friends.
So you two,
Yeah, I've got on chainmail as part of my batting costume, so the bat machine doesn't injure me. The D&D equivalent, which I think is just like, I don't know, a donkey kicking balls at me or something.
it's like a medieval blitz ball.
Basically, I'm picturing everything like the Flintstones. Like there's just an animal proxy for every technology.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Okay, so the two of you are able to get in cover, and I will say you've got one more chance to do something before this group of soldiers is at your location, Tiny. And then we'll go to initiative.
Okay. Yeah, so I think if I start jingling around and realize, oh, this isn't going to work for me, I'm going to kind of look around, not seeing a good place to hide. I'm just going to lie myself down like near his dead dad, like I am still injured from the crash.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm going to act like, oh, I'm hurt.
So that part of the airship is fallen with the carcass of his dad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'll just near the edge, like near if there's any rubble left, near some of the rubble.
You play possum near the debris.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, so the soldiers come in and go, "Hey, what's the matter? What was that? I thought there was more than just. I see one body, but I thought there was more. Check him to see if he's alive. He doesn't look good." And so The high elves kind of go over. You said you're human?
Yes.
Okay. So they're not quite sure what human healthiness would look like. So I will say that they're kind of like, oh, it doesn't look good. I don't know. And so I will say you can fool them if you'd like with some sort of deception check,
right,
as
we'll
they
give it a
think you're
go.
injured and unconscious. But
We'll see how well that facade keeps up.
and they're like, I might still want to take a bit. And so they start to like. Do you still play possum like as they're picking you up? You're kind of limp.
No, I'll be like, hey, hands off.
Okay.
And I'll kind of like jerk my arm away from him.
Oh, we got a fighter! Oh, we got a fighter! And they're like, start to reach for their weapons. They're like, then you just need to come with us. And there's 3 of them, 3 kind of elite-looking, heavily armed high elf soldiers. So, come with us then, and there won't be any trouble. And he flashes his sitar or whatever, not sitar, his fancy long sword. We'll say it's a long sword at you. So they are prepping to take you away. Ichibi and Chisel. Do you guys do anything in this moment?
I think Ichibi, being a chaotic good character
Nice.
by nature, would sort of want to help the guy, even though he was a bully. That's just his nature. I think he would probably want to at least follow the guards,
Okay.
to see where they're taking him.
Cool.
Yeah, and Chisel's gonna kind of agree. Basically, we want to help him, but if we pop out now, we could just be in the same situation he is. So we're just gonna try to trail behind the soldiers and see where they're taking Tiny.
Cool.
Yeah, I think when I see that, like, it's going to be pretty futile to fight back against all these guys, and I definitely do not have any faith that my companions with me are going to be much help in a fight. I think I'll just let them take me.
Cool. So you guys wander through the forest. So they kind of take you into the forest on a path that's kind of a little bit of a walk. It's, I would say, a couple miles. You're walking with them through various parts of the forest. This forest is densely packed, and it's odd. There's like old bits of your world, what you remember to be down there where you came from. Like you might see a bit of armor that looks familiar, or a wagon wheel that would be like in your hometown that's like overgrown with moss, and just like old bits that look like artifacts of the world that was your home. Like you see something that could be in your hometown. It's just old, and maybe the older iteration of that. So if you kind of see at one point this old cart, like a wagon cart, that looks like an old version of what you have in your hometown. And it's sort of this relic that's just kind of fused next to a tree. A tree has grown around it and taken it over. So you just kind of see like weird stuff like that. You also see strange vegetation. Like mushrooms grow on the tops of trees here. The moss kind of grows around the middle of a tree. And then the sand that you step on is very like spongy, and for some reason. So it's just kind of a weird terrain. It's kind of like this alternate reality of your world. Like you've seen a tree before, but you've not seen a tree with mushrooms near it on its branches and moss around its trunk. Like that's just weird for you to see, right? Like everything's a little stranger here. So you're kind of wondering like what's going on. So as you follow this curvy path, you kind of just go through the woods. It's just the woods. You might stop and see a soldier that is saluted by the 3 soldiers that are carrying you. At one point, about 12 soldiers kind of march past you, headed back to the crash site, and you kind of gather that that's the salvage team headed to check out what's left of your ride here. They don't talk to you much, Tiny. They're just kind of very Standoffish, don't say much to you. They kind of talk among themselves, like talking about. They keep talking about a trial or seeing the elders. Kind of, you don't really gather what that means much beyond those words and what that would mean. Chisel and Ichibi, you're following through the forest. You're able to kind of navigate the trees, and since you're kind of kids, you're able to kind of maneuver really quickly around the edge of the paths that they're taking. And they go around all these kind of like sanded patches to around here on the map. So you guys kind of do like a full counterclockwise circle. So I'll kind of dot the map to show you your journey in. So if as a reminder, you guys were here.
Mm-hmm.
You actually go past here and you see a big kind of village town right here that you just kind of avoid and stay near the shoreline of this lake, and you go all the way around to here, and you actually get on a ferry that takes you to this little island. And this island has a beautiful it has a little tiny mountain, as you can see on the map. But as you get in the forest there, you see that it's got kind of obscured entrance. Like, it's not like hidden, but the tree line from this map covers it up because it's this nice, like, entrance to a cave. But once you go through the cave, you go in the mountain. The mountain is burrowed out, so you can kind of look up and see sky. So it's kind of this hollow mountain. And in this hollow mountain is a nice little city with a nice circle in the middle, with some chairs, and then just like little dwellings that dot the perimeter of this hollowed out mountain. And they're all pretty grandiose, like your very elaborate dwellings that are covered up in trimmings of gold and diamonds, like very, very extravagant. In the middle of the town is a few chairs, and these chairs are occupied with older-looking high elves that are all in unique wares. They all have different types of patterns and colorings to their clothes. It's all in this kind of weird style that you've not seen before, but you can tell they are each like different in their own way. You see that these chairs are eight chairs that are arranged in a circle with a little bit of an entryway arranged at the bottom of that circle. And that is where the soldiers bring you to, Teeny, and they kind of put you in the middle of these 8 chairs. And these 8 older high elves are just kind of sitting there staring at you. One has a scar over his eye where he just looks at you in an eye. The other one is like super old but very nice skin, like he looks like he aged very well. Another one has like blue eyes, which is very unnerving to you. Another one has a lot of like leprosy looking dots on his face. So just kind of different about them, but they're all pretty similar. All seem to be males to you that are older at high elves, but you also are not familiar with high elves, so you can't really gauge. You're just kind of assuming. I will say that a large crowd has gathered. So, matter of fact, when they bring you in, Tiny, they have to part this crowd to get you to those elders that are sitting in the chairs waiting on you. But that allows Ichibi, you, and Chisel to kind of float into the crowd and blend in the crowd and get really close to where this event is happening. You see the elder to your immediate right. As soon as you arrive, Teeny, he kind of starts grabbing what looks like to be a little hammer. And the guards that brought you in kind of push you ahead of them and then stand back, kind of as a way to present you in front of these 8 chairs. And then that elder kind of very slowly grabs the little hammer that he has, and he knocks it on the arm rest of his chair. Call to order. Call to order. Oh, I dropped my gavel.
Oh no.
So he goes, case of the interloper will now commence. Interloper, you human child. He kind of like slowly inspects you, kind of not sure about you. Human child, who are you? Where do you hail from? Speak.
I say, I am Tawanche, and I'm from a giant tribe.
From the surface, from down below.
Now, how would I know that? I just woke up here.
Obviously not.
I don't know if I'm from the surface or from here, just another part. Doesn't make sense.
Obviously needs to work on his manners. The kind of like fairest skin elder pipes up. I agree.
Hey, I didn't drag somebody into a cave, all right?
So the Scar elder pipes up at this point and actually stands up. And you look over him, he's got a very terrifying presence about him. A lot of anger to this man. And he says, the overseers have but one way of dealing with interlopers such as this boy. He obviously has no class, no sorrowfulness for showing up, but we know how to deal with outsiders. We know how to deal with outsiders. And pans to the crowd, and many of the crowd starts to jeer and pipe up. And then more sinister elder pipes up as well. He just stays in his seat with his hands folded and says, yes, the overseers, as overseers, we have a commitment, fellow elders, to rid and purge this world that we enjoy of all outside influences. The rules here are clear. I must agree, another elder pipes up. Yes, agreed. So these kind of four elders all kind of in unison talk about similar stuff to you. You don't know what an overseer is, but they keep talking about purging, and they're really getting the crowd worked up. They're trying to kind of gain public support for their viewpoint on this, which is, in their opinion, a very clear violation of their rules of outside influence. As you can tell, the other four, the one holding the gavel and the other three that are not piping up, are a little bit more neutral on this issue. So you kind of start to see that you've kind of got split opinion on your presence here. So that's kind of what's devolving. And then the kind of one elder with the gavel. As you know, Scalorda! As you know, this is my turn to be tribunal elder. And as it's my turn, I will do my job. So order! We have to do a trial. Young man, your presence here is a clear violation of outside influence, and we have real heavy laws for that. Explain to me how you came to our lands, so that we can hear your testimony and make our decision. And I'll mind you that what is on offer, or what my colleagues here, he gestures to the four that have kind of been working the crowd up, they come from the overseer grouping that believes that all outside influence should be purged. So I would really choose my words wisely, as your life is quite literally in balance at this moment. Now, please, tell us your testimony. How did you come to this place?
Well, didn't you see the rubble from where I was? I'm going to kind of start working the room a little bit, like walking around. I'm sure you saw it. I don't know if you recognized what it was. You see, we're a little bit smarter than you down there. That was a flying machine, and we've got thousands of them. You think we're a problem? We were just a scouting party. And let me tell you, one of us has already died. If you were to get rid of me, oh, it'd be the end for you. Your only hope is me convincing them not to invade this place. Now I can forget everything I've seen, and you can let me go, or you can rain down hell upon this life that you know.
Okay, so this is good and plays right into what I was trying to set up here. So, Paul's right there, players. We are doing a courtroom mechanic at this point. So we will do persuasion and deception rolls, which PSM just started here with a deception claim and a persuasion claim. So, with that being said, we're kind of going to go into some debate style encounter where we do these kind of rolls to get you persuade. Basically, you're doing like some DC saves to win the court over, to spare your life and kind of get off the hook here. So, that being said, that's a great lead into
Can we
what we're going to set up
sway
here.
the crowd?
Yes, that's where I was getting to next. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll.
I got Pinkertons working the crowd for me.
We're going to roll initiative. I'm going to roll for the elders that are not overseers and the elders that are overseers, and I'm going to let you all roll yours. And so Ichibi and Chisel, you guys can work the crowd on yours. So hold on, I don't have the tracker up. Hold on. Violation.
I was too eager. I'm sorry.
I think we're also
Violation.
going to need our character tokens to properly get in tracker order.
This again.
This again.
This, my arch nemesis.
Where the frick is the turn order? There we go.
Did they move it? Oh, there it is.
Dude, my Microsoft Edge is just
It's on the
messing
edge.
up. Obviously, it's the finest web
Yes.
browser in the world.
Yes. of
Oh,
course.
they've added a new interface thing. Okay.
Nice. All right. I'm gonna add you to the turn order, Ichibi, and put your 19 in there. And then I'm assuming.
Man,
you
we've
need-
saved all the good rolls for our initiative.
That's right. So, Alex, I'm assuming you need help. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm logging off. No, I
Shuts the door.
If somebody could someone could grab my character token, or just, I mean, I rolled an 11, so
Okay, I got you. I
probably
pulled you
fall last.
onto the. I pulled you onto the. To the thing. Got you an 11. All right. Y'all, we're gonna take a really quick break. Stream. Really quick break, and then we'll get started on this initiative. So, players, just kind of craft what you're going to be doing next, while I run to do a quick break, real quick. I'll put the logo up and mute our mics. So, stream, just hang with us about 2 seconds.
Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Together we will find everything that we're looking for.
Piece of eight.
Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Together we will find everything that we're looking for.
Piece of eight.
Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Together we will find everything that we're looking for.
Piece of eight.
Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Together we will find everything that we're
I'm going to pull the. We're coming off break here, folks. We've got audio back from me and the PU2 Cru, so thank you for that quick break. We got a couple. Climate is going to be coming back here in a second, so I will be doing some rolls for the people we're playing against here. So I'll be setting that up while we're getting back rolling.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
2 buffaloes.
Buffaloes. That's right.
Unisex teal.
Unisex.
Blouses.
I wonder if that is like clippable somewhere. Because that is by far one of the funniest parts of that movie. Minecraft, y'all. Go see it in theaters. If not for that
Let's see.
one-liner.
Let's see if it's on YouTube.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
You know what? I can't wait. I bet somebody will take the entire Minecraft movie and recreate it in Minecraft. You know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That'll be fun. Storage.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it was at the storage part.
Yeah. I don't know how to search for it. Oh, the Alex post credits.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. That's upsetting. I'm sure it's just because it came out, it'll come out.
Maybe I can search the actor. Jermaine Clement.
Yeah, I don't know where it went.
Who was Kate McKinnon playing?
The Steve Lava's chicken song is on there, though.
Lava chicken, chicken lava.
Chicken Lava.
Can you hear me?
Yeah!
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, welcome back. Alex, we still got you, bud?
Return.
I'm here.
Cool deal. Let's get back into it. I'm going to roll a D20. 2 D20s. And that's going to be, ooh, nice. All right, so the first was the regular elders, and the second was the overseers. So we'll plug those in there. I'll just put it on my order here to remember for myself.
It's just like who can talk the fastest.
That's it.
It's just like, can you interrupt quick enough to get a word in?
All right, so the overseers are basically a faction of the society that believes in purity of their culture, so they do not like outside influence. They have put to death countless interlopers because they do not want outside interference. They're extremist, but they believe that their cause justifies their means. So that is the overseers. So when you hear me say that, that is this kind of dissenting group among the elders. It's about 50-50 split among the elders of who believes and is a member of that faction. And they've rolled a 9, and the 8 is just regular elders. So, yeah. Good points, Alex. Good points. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's very topical, this campaign, right?
And I believe we do have a full minority party here, so
That's it.
that's them being racist.
That's right. Being racist, tariffs. We can go on and on. So,
Yeah.
Tariffs against the surface.
That's right. I think I need to adjust the screen for Twitch to be able to see.
Yeah, we can't see the full turn order either.
Yeah.
We can only see the 3 of us.
There we
Just
go.
the 3 of us.
That's good right there. Okay. So this works out that you started the initiative and that you kind of went first. Billy Batson. Tony. Teeny. Okay. So You basically made a deception claim and a persuasion claim. So here's what I'm going to do. Because you were like saying that all these airships are down there like a fleet is waiting on them. And then you were also saying like, just let me go and there won't be any trouble. So you're kind of doing two different angles on this. So
Okay.
I'm going to say that the first was like a surprise round claim. Is kind of deceiving them that there is an army waiting for them. And then
Yes.
the second is kind of let me go or else, which would be a persuasion check. So you don't have any sort of advantage or disadvantage here. You do have an attitude, but we'll say the playing field is level. So
I got a tood.
go ahead and give me both those deception and persuasion checks.
All right, here's a little deception.
Okay.
Here's a little persuasion. Oof.
Okay.
Not feeling very charismatic today.
Okay.
So they believe there's not a fleet, and they're even less, sure that there's going to be any consequences.
Well, it depends. They could be very gullible.
Okay.
Sure.
Maybe the DC was like 5.
So here's what we're gonna do for this. I probably should explain this before you did your first roll, but the structure is going to be an opening, a rebuttal, and a closing.
Okay.
So this is your opening. Everybody in the initial order gets an opening statement. Well, you guys are kind of obscured, right? Ichibi and Chisel, you guys are kind of obscured, but you can do something in that to kind of like convince the crowd. So basically, we've got 3 rounds, which is opening, rebuttal, closing, with skill checks in each of those rounds. The best of 3 rounds wins. So you're trying to like offset the checks and persuasions that the elders can do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. So now they're going to rebut my initial claim.
Well, they're going to have an opening as well. So we're going to
Where do they fall in the turn order currently?
They are 9 and 8. So I
Okay.
didn't put them on there, but I'll get it here in a second.
All right. So I
Who's
guess
gonna have
you've
those?
already done your stuff.
So that was my opening. It's someone else's turn now, right?
Correct. And
so
I'll
Ichibi,
combine
from
those
in the
very
crowd,
average rolls together.
he tries to like sort of project his voice as if someone in the crowd is saying this.
Okay, cool.
And he says, "Yes, I saw hundreds of shadows of ships in the clouds on the way here. He may be telling the truth." And you tell me what kind of roll.
Well, that would be
I need-
deception, because you're lying about that happening.
Get.
Unless, is it true? DM? Do we really have thousands?
No!
No.
We're doing
Dang.
very bad. Almost like how you would believe if a 10-year-old said that. So.
I think Chisel is gonna just try to back Ichibi's play, just very unconvincing. He'd be like, "No, so many ships. It was terrifying." Just very half-heartedly because he's not very good.
You gotta triple down on the lie. It's the only option.
They'll believe us eventually. Hang on, sorry, I'm doing my.
You could
Yeah, 'cause that'd be
also...
deception.
So, just so you know, there's a couple different ways. I know you want to kind of do this deception argument, but should that not work out, you've got 2 more rounds to work with, and you guys that are kind of support, because like basically there's a mechanical way to do this where you've got a lead talker and a support talkers, and the support talkers could also inside check like the elders to try to like see what would cripple their arguments. So just some advice. But you go with that deception roll there.
All right.
Wow.
Very,
We're off.
very deceptive.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. Okay.
Oh, well, I guess we got to kill all of them.
Yes. That's
Can we?
clearly that's the only way around this. Let's see. Is there just like a high elf sheet? Because I need a roll, but with a charisma modifier.
That would almost be like you'd have to make a character.
I don't want to make a character.
Yeah, I know.
don't wanna.
I don't want to.
What about a
Level
I'll do a cult.
20
I'll do a
high elf stats.
No, not okay.
not races?
You guys are level 1.
There's
You
gotta be
sure
a
you want a level
monster.
20 against you? Kill yourselves.
There's gotta be a monster.
I'm looking at
That's
cultic
like-
fanatic. Okay.
Plus 2 dex, plus 1 intelligence.
What's the CR on this sucker? CR is 2. Charisma.
There's a drow. You could just pretend.
Charisma's a +1. I'll do that. So it'll be a +1 modifier. That'll work. So that'll be for the overseers. And then, so that's a plus. I need to write that down. +1. Charisma. Charisma. And then I've got a deception of 3. Ooh. I love how I'm telling you the scores. That's very non-TM play. Okay. So that'll be
Yes,
that.
continue.
Yes. Tell me all.
Sassy lost child.
Tell me
Give us
all.
everything behind
All
the
the
curtain.
numbers.
That's great.
Is this really just the Matrix? Is this a simulation?
Okay, I need some elder stats. Just straight up elder. Not an elk.
Elk. Good golly, their leader's an elk.
Leaders
We
of-
stand no chance.
Oh god.
This- Everyone run.
It's just trampling.
Monsters on roll 20 suck. Sorry, roll 20, but come on, man.
Well, they just want you to buy stuff, right?
That's
So,
it. That's it.
But he wants me to buy things.
The mines.
what monster are you looking for?
I'm just looking for somebody that would be a close character sheet to what I'm trying to do here, like an elder or a wizard.
There should be a what's it called?
Mage?
Mage.
Yeah, there's like a mage one.
Archmage?
Archmage is ridiculously high.
Yeah.
I think there's a
Let's do what's the guard? Let me look at guard. I'm just trying to get a CR that's acceptable.
there's like a lesser one.
That's 1/8. Good golly, man.
Whoa, they added a Google tab to the search under like art and characters.
That's pretty cool.
So you can just drag stuff straight from Wikipedia.
That's helpful.
This mage character sheet sucks. A noble would be appropriate. Also sucks. How about this noble? Otherworldly steed. That's awesome. Okay, I'm willing to do this one. Okay, I won't tell you what this one is. I give it. I DM screen peek too much already.
It's a vampire spellcaster.
That's
We're
it.
doomed.
You're dead. It's just a noble.
Fun.
I
Oh,
don't like the way you said that. It's Denny Hamlin.
Just stay. Oh, stop! You're gonna make me rage.
11 against the world.
Do you want to live? Don't ever bring that name up in my courtroom again.
Speak not of Denny Hamlin.
Okay, all right. So in the order, the overseers go first. So they will roll. Basically, if their check is going to be weighted against your highest roll, which is 10 or an average, we'll do the highest roll. So a 10, which was the deception 10. And they're just doing open remarks, so they're not rebuttaling what you're saying. They're just commenting on what they think. And then the rebuttal will be a little bit more crafted. So let's start with their roll. They have, let's do a d20 with a modifier. Ooh, baby. So that would be charisma. So that was going to be 18 of a charisma remark. So they're going to say, we know what to do with outsiders. We've done it for a long time. This keeps our society thriving, strong, and the direction we need to go with interlopers such as this child. And a lot of harumps are had after that statement. So he got an 18. So the kind of more neutral party, which is the elders kind of between your stance and these overseers, is going to go next. And they are going to do a charisma-based roll as well. And it's not going to go well. No. This is a child. Let's have some elvish understanding here. If one of our younglings got into trouble, they would not deserve death, even if they were an interloper. Now we need to remain calm and collective on this matter, and don't throw out reason in these kind of situations. This is unreasonable. This is a child, a youngling. So that is the end of the round. Overseers scored 18. The elders scored 6. You guys scored 10. So the overseers are going to win 1 in the column there.
They're going to jail.
So they've got a 1.
We're in trouble.
All right. So now we come back to the top of the order. And I haven't been using the turn counter as much. But go ahead, Tiny. This is your rebuttal.
Oh, gosh. What can I say? I don't want to contradict what I just said, because then it'll be admitting to lying, and I feel like that's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't admit.
So I'll just say, hey, I don't know what the interlopers before were like, but I'm just a kid. And kids, we're the kind of people that get missed. I'm not some scout or some soldier that they can just write off as getting lost in the woods. People are looking for me. You're going to get way less heat if you just give me back.
It's a pretty good argument. I'll give you advantage on that.
I think that's persuasion, because that's pretty true.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Wow.
Pretty good.
I'm not seeing it. Let me see. Oh, man. Okay. Crushing it. Okay. So there's a lot of, yes. Good points made. So, nice job, Tiny. Going to Ichibi. You kind of feel that went over very well. So you can either continue to contribute, or you can do a little further espionage to throw the game off in your favor.
Yeah. I think Ichibi would try to sneak through the crowd to get near the, judges. See if he can gain any insight by either hearing their discussion they're having between each other, or just trying to gain any insight that'll give an advantage to whoever speaks next,
Sure. So there are essentially two types of folks that you can spy on here. One is a neutral party that is just trying to do the best job they can as a government official. The other is a extremist that is hell bent on killing your friend. So the overseers or the
How dare.
elders, who do you spy on? Because I will say you can only target maybe one. You can only target one of these two types of people.
Friend, what's a friend?
Probably the neutral party, I guess.
Okay. You go near the one that had the hammer, and you do a little inside check. So go ahead and give me that check. Okay.
Because they're probably the one that's we're more likely to be able to bring to our side.
With a 15, you can tell a pretty good bit. These elders, you can tell from the one you're reading, and then you get similar vibes from his colleagues. They don't want to kill Tiny. They think this is a very extremist action, and he's going to try. You can tell he's trying to kind of curtail the room and get a lighter sentence for Tiny. That's kind of what you're gathering from him. But
So I'd like to suggest that Ichibi then goes back and tells his friend in the crowd that
The chisel.
the chisel.
The chisel.
How did I even forget that? Yeah, how do you forget that?
Mm.
The chisel. That
The Chiseler.
That's right.
Ichibi thinks that if the chisel
Chiseler.
goes and talks to that neutral party, that they might be able to all stay there.
Okay. So that is your turn. You kind of scoot up, get the reading on that, get that intel, circle back, and give it to your friend. And now it is the chiseler's turn.
Skibbity. So the chiseler is, I think, going to be really interested more so now that we kind of know what some of the elders are thinking. I'm going to try to sneak up and hear what the opposing side, the side that's bent on killing our friend, because I want to hear now kind of what the other argument is, so we can figure out if there's a way we can subvert that argument.
Okay. So are you getting some insight, or are you investigating on these evil parties?
Yeah, I'm going to just kind of try to get some insight.
Okay.
Oof.
Just bad. Get some bad vibes, man.
It's just bad. Just
They're
all
bad. You can tell. You can tell they definitely want the death penalty for your friend. That's about all that you gather, though. There's something else going on. You kind of can't tell. There's something else going on here, but you can't put your finger on it. But you're not getting good vibes from them, and they definitely want to kill your buddy, or they definitely want to kill the bully.
Dang. All right, I'll sneak back to Ichibi and kind of let him know. But I don't know what they're planning, but the vibe is terrible up there.
If only I had a dart gun
Do you?
with a sleeping point dart in it,
Mm.
Do you?
but I don't.
Put me to sleep.
That was an oddly
It'll confuse
specific
them.
thing.
I should have made that choice when I was making my character, but I didn't.
Okay. So, with that being said, we go through the party's turn. And the overseers, hearing the good persuasion argument, are going to try to persuade against it. And they're going to do a deception tactic. Roll. You get a 13. And their argument or their rebuttal is that was an airship. There was a flying device that landed here, and these are the tactics that the surface dwellers use to besiege an area. This is the first of many threats if we don't deal with it swiftly. And so that's their argument. And then we cut over to the elders, and they get a 18. And they say, child is right. He just needs to get back home. This is no cause for death. This is just a way to get him. He did not come here by force. It was strictly by accident. There's no need to be unreasonable here. We just need to think through this, and we will continue to, because we are highest of elves, and this is what we do. We think through solutions. And so that's kind of one of the elders' arguments. Then we go back to the top of the order, but there was a meme drop. Let me see the meme. Nice.
You're not gonna like one of those.
I roll high when I hit them with cheers. He's got a name badge. It's great. Cool. All right, so Party wins that round. Way to go, Party. You guys are tied up. Third round.
Intense.
It's getting down to the boiler. I don't know what that means. It's getting down to the last inning. It's a player update for the players. It looks like we're going to part 2 this sucker. So once we get through this little what's happening here now, we will break for the night and come back next week and finish this sucker out. So don't you worry, Eastern time zone people. We got you.
Okay, he pushes the button, the moon door opens. We all die.
That's it. Yeah. And the bottom
Just
drops
drop straight to the surface.
And the bottom drops out. Okay. Go ahead, Tiny. This is your closing. Your remarks.
Closing remarks. In conclusion,
Objection!
your mother.
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis. Did you take a high elf law class on the side while you were down, in between bullying?
I did not. My giant parents must have skipped that particular lesson. I'll say oh gosh. The pressure's on.
Little Phoenix Wright action deal.
I'll just say it was my friend's dad's dream. That's kind of a connection there.
Okay.
To build a machine that could fly, just because he was curious. He didn't even know this place existed. He died living out that dream. Being in the sky, like you all enjoy now. None of us ever meant to be here. We were just following a dream. Don't punish us because a man wanted to believe he could fly.
Cool.
One strong tear,
Yeah, that'll be a
And I'm going to leave in that I accidentally said us. And
Yeah.
if they want to infer something
You
from
implied
that, that's up
multiple
to them.
times. Yeah. You implied multiple
That's up to
times
them.
that's multiple people involved. So if this roll falls
Yeah,
flat, that's
I'm
gonna...
not a huge intelligent guy.
So if this roll falls flat, that is now revealed to the parties.
All right. So we're gonna persuasion again.
And just
I'm guessing-
straight. That was a good roll, but you kind of did stumble through revealing a big
I
secret.
did. Yeah. Oh my goodness, a natural one. The worst I
boy.
could
They
have
don't
done.
care about dreams.
We're gonna die.
They don't care about dreams here.
So there is a lot of harumps and because they immediately catch on and say, this is an implication. There are multiple parties involved. Several times during your closing statement, you referenced us and that the creator of that machine arrived on the island before he died. There was a lot of implication you came as a group. We were under the impression in this group that you acted alone. So now you are deceiving and hiding interlopers in your midst, and this is unacceptable. So that was kind of some joint conversation between both factions as they start to you kind of get them all stirred up by that statement.
Oops.
So
Oh, no.
we move over to Ichibi.
I think Ichibi would probably try to hide, but
Okay. Make a run for it.
Out of my way, going and hide.
or like befriend somebody in the crowd.
Please take care of me. I am a young orphan.
Yeah.
This is like very Goonies, like kids getting into big trouble stuff. I love it. We're playing into our adventure well.
I should have just dunked these guys off the cliff when we had the opportunity.
That's right.
I think Ichibi would go all in at this point.
What does that
And-
mean?
Run out there.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
a twist.
So you're fully revealing yourself to the crowds. And when you say run out there, you're running out in the presence of the elders.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
To do what?
I think he would just be like defending his dad,
Okay.
you know?
Okay.
His dad's like honor, or his dad's dream that they just all harumped at, and his dad just died like a little while ago. And it's just like, but my dad was a great person, and we learned how to fly on our own, and you don't own the sky, so that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just leave us alone. Angry young human child.
Which doesn't fly in this group. You've revealed yourself, so you've already put yourself at a disadvantage. So let's do persuasion, because that's kind of what you were doing. It was like, leave us alone. So, but it'll just be at disadvantage.
Great.
No. Okay.
I didn't mean to do that twice.
Well, it's okay. I'll take the first one, so it's 13 and 10. So it's a 10. So you get a little bit of, oh, sure. And they were a little like, gasp, another one. And so, but your talk was kind of like, got some bleeding heart liberals in the audience on board. So.
Say there's more than one of them.
That's right. So
I knew it.
It's
They're
probably
getting across the wall.
the best. Getting at the skywall. Probably the best outcome out of that reveal was what you got there with that score. So that's good. Okay. So with that all said, it comes down to the chiseler. What he's gonna do. It all hinges on his shoulders.
Oh god, I think the chiseler is he's not going to step forward just yet. What he is going to do is kind of read the crowd. Now that Ichibi has kind of made this declaration and made himself known, I'm going to try to feel out whether or not this was a good decision or a really bad one.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would need to
I would
do...
also like to know that.
Yeah. Would it be a perception check?
So I guess my question is, are you checking on the crowd? Are you checking on one of the sections of the elders? What are you checking? Because this is for all the Marmalade.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the elders that are in support of just sort of letting Ichibi and Tiny go.
Okay. So we're doing a insight on them, a perception on them, or investigation on them.
Let me do an
Okay.
investigation.
Okay. Oh snap!
Nice.
Holy moly.
Okay.
These are a great hope. The double nat 20s. Amazing.
Oh, I got to do some heavy lore.
Wow. The Chiseler.
Coming through.
Coming in
Dropping
clutch.
bombs.
He did hit him with the
Skibbity.
chiz.
Bringing the
Just
riz.
like we said.
Skibbity.
Didn't even have to roll another crit.
Yeah.
Did it anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is superfluous.
So I'm going to say that you gained a little lore drop here. You can tell that the elders want the best for these two childs. They don't like you're here, but they're willing to work through a solution. But what they really don't like is the influence of the overseers. You can tell that there's a rift there that you didn't pick up on, but it's almost like these individuals have gained unnecessary control of this council of elders, because you can tell it's split vote, and those politics there are that the progressive minds are saying that this is not the way our society should be, but they're sort of just allowing the overseers to be crazy, be crazy extremists. So you kind of get you can kind of get the understanding that there might be a wedge there that you could use for your advantage. Like they're not committed to the overseer philosophy, and if something were to happen to this extreme faction, the elders wouldn't mind because they think they're a little too extreme anyway. So that is what you gained on that phenomenal roll there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you gotta kill the overseer.
That's going to be tricky. Okay.
Just playing.
You
I
could
think
do
with
it.
that, I would step forward and stand with Ichibi and just say, I knew his father. He was a great man. We came here with the spirit of flight to explore. We mean no harm. And then I would look at the faction that was, leaning toward leniency and just say, this is wrong. You have the power to fix this.
Nice. Okay, so you kind of revealed yourself as well. So there's a lot of harumps and hurrahs and a little like a chatter, a rabble. So, cool. All right, so with that reveal and that roll, Alex, you mind putting your mic on mute for a second? Thank you, sir. Okay, so with that reveal and those rolls and kind of what Alex says, so now that kicks it over to the overseers and the elders. So the overseers will go first. They've been now put a lot of pressure on because the Chiseler has kind of put them into that point. So they are going to have to. I'm going to say they're going to be at a disadvantage because of how Alex played that. So I'm still going to say that they do a deception argument. No, I'll say they do a persuasion argument of let us handle this the way we've handled this. We're proud. Okay, so that's an 18 and I got to do disadvantage. And a 16. Okay, so that is a 17. And they say, let us handle this the way that we've handled this. The overseer philosophy dictates that no outside influence should ever come to our lands. And, mind you, we've had many of examples and precedents that have happened in our past that the overseer philosophy has helped see that through. Now we have a 3 when we thought we were only prosecuting 1. So clearly we have a problem here. And the overseers and our philosophy and this way of thinking is the way that we need to use to move forward. So, let us do what we are going to do. And he starts yelling at the crowd, and the crowd's like, some of the crowd's like, get off of the head. So, that is the overseers who now are in P1. but the elders are going to go next. Da, 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 da. And I will say they will go to advantage because of the kind of pressure swinging. Again, Alex's move was pretty significant, and then your argument was pretty decent, Ichibi, about your dad. It's got some heartstrings pulled in the moment. So we'll do 2 rolls, adding persuasion modifiers.
We just won't mention
Oh,
my
baby,
argument.
the elders win. So the elders basically say, this is, yes, that is an old way. I think many of us know in this crowd that the overseer philosophy has always been an extreme solution to a simple problem. We do not have army men. None of these individuals are even armed. Unless you count that stick that one child has, and he points to, I'm assuming he's got his stickball stick on him.
Yeah, it's like basically a baseball bat.
Yeah. Unless you count this blunt object, which I don't, these individuals are not here to hunt us down or kill us. If they were spies or if they were soldiers, we could tell in this moment. And they're clearly not. Not to mention, that ship has been destroyed upon landing. And the remnants of its original pilot and crater this boy has shared is gone. So, I think we are now on the precipice of a new way of thinking. And these individuals should be dealt with differently. So, with that being said, players, we've had a 3-way tie where you guys won a round, the elders won a round, and the overseers won a round.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
then they say, then one of the elders who hasn't been talking much, not an overseer, pipes in and says, might I suggest a different approach? We are clearly all in. None of us are unanimous of what to do with these individuals. So, I suggest we send them to send them to the Moon Mountain for
It's like Moon.
Moon Mountain.
The
For-
moon door?
I'm trying to think
Dark
about.
side.
I'm trying to think about how to call this. The Moon Cliffs, so that they can spend time with some of our teachers to discern what they know and more about where they came from in this forum. As you know, and he kind of gestures to everybody in the room, the Moon Cliffs are where we go for solitude and for tranquility and for meditation. This will be a removed area. I could personally supervise these individuals, and we could get to the bottom of what's going on here. I will do a thorough investigation, provide it back to this council at the conclusion of it. And I'm a non-biased party, as you know. I've been on both sides of our philosophy and our arguments, so I can handle this matter. And then the elder kind of taps his gavel. Yes, Elder Chiz is, in fact, a very fair judge of character. The Moon Cliffs are quite a good solution. So, this council will now defer to a full investigation by Judge Chiz and move forward with a ruling after that. And then he kind of slams his gavel. Overseers kind of abruptly leave, kind of a little frustrated. And the other elders are kind of nodding, and most of the crowd is kind of nodding like, yeah, this is going to work out. And you guys get the gavel, and you hear the announcements. And this elder stands up. Chiz kind of approaches you. This is the one with blue eyes. Seems to be pretty, without doing an investigation, you can just kind of tell that they seem to be kind of a peaceful presence about them. He summons the three of you to him and says, welcome to our lands. We are going to go to an area that is remote and have a talk. I need to fully understand how you got here and your predicament and about where you're from. And then we can finally maybe get this council to see you as not a threat. Does that sound good?
Yes.
That
Very
sounds
much.
great.
Very good. Well, come and tell me.
Whatever gets us home.
Great.
I don't want to die.
Come and tell me about your world below. And then that's where we'll end our campaign. So we're gonna choose.
It was Jurassic Park the whole time.
That's right. It was Jurassic Park.
There's dinosaurs everywhere.
So that we're gonna kind of loop back to this one again. We got through some good lore here, but we just not got to a resolution that I would like to see yet. So we will be doing a part 2 of this memory going into next week. So you guys come back, same time, same channel, and we'll finish this one out. So thank you, Climate Changer, for letting us explore your backstory a little bit, and for PS Zombie and Alex for putting the character up on the spot. So we will continue into the story next week and see our resolution as the crew continues to get investigated for where they are on this new world. Okay? All right. Well, thank you, players and folks. Thank you for the click. Thank you for the find. Thank you for the watch. Thank you for all the subscribes and follows this channel. Pretty awesome that we got so much action after having a break. So I encourage you to come back. We do these kind of streams once a week, and we will be back at it next week. So thank you. This is PU to ASU and Cru signing off and saying good night.